Okay, so I'm working in the studio and, you know, I get a comment. I got a comment that, I made a post on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and if you don't follow me, go do it. I get this question a lot, right? How do I deal with haters? And pretty much every like any place I go, any event I do, they ask me like, how do you deal with haters? And like online bullying, really, or online haters. I want to use the word bullying too loosely, right? So I think bullying is someone who like legit is attacking you, and I think just like, you know, hating on someone is just like saying something broad and like leaving one comment every now and then. That's kind of just like, really? I think I must kick something over and knock something over every single video. So I made a post and I try to, like, I'm an optimistic person. I haven't always been optimistic, but now I am. Now when I see a glass that's half full, right, I think like, okay, so there's more room to grow. That's awesome. I don't think society right now or the online community likes optimistic people. I think most of them claim to be realists or pessimists, you know, and I think in my world, like, what I see is a lot of pessimists trying to, like, wear the cloth of a realist. And it just seems like if you're a realist, anytime I talk to a realist, and me being an optimist, they are always just really pessimistic. Like, they're always like, well, everything that I think isn't realistic, okay? So, like, being happy, having a good marriage that lasts forever, having kids that are cooperative, you know, having, you know, the desires and going on vacations and, like, you know, having all those, like, materialistic desires, as well as having all the emotional desires and finding your true self and being authentic, like, all the things that I'm striving for in my life, they tell me all the time that it's not realistic. And in my world, you know, the whole world can be beautiful and in harmony. And they say that's not realistic. And maybe for them it's not realistic in their mind, but for me it's not hard to envision. And so, you know, I get a lot of hate based on just purely being an optimist. That has nothing to really do with being transgender, has nothing to do with anything else, but just being, like, trying to see the lighter side of everything. And being, you know, living in a world, even if it's only in my brain, that we can all get along. And so, how do I deal with the haters? Honestly, I deal with them like every other person deals with them. I scroll through my phone. I see the comment or the hate, you know, the mean comment. I read it. What are my first reactions? I'm upset. Either angry or sad, or, you know, I start to question myself. Oh, wait, well, maybe I was really being a dick, right? And then I think, like, no, like, I wasn't. This person took my words and twisted them around to fit their own agenda. So, you know, it's like, you know, or someone's like, oh, you're a bully. And I'm like, was I really a bully, or did I just state how I feel about something, and because that doesn't fall in line with how they feel, now I'm bullying them into my own beliefs? You know, I think there's this really fine line, right? So, you know, so what do I want to do? I feel mad, I feel upset, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I start questioning myself, like, oh my gosh, am I really that bad of a person? Or oh my goodness, should I not say that? Or what should I do? Should I apologize? You know what I mean? And it make me start to question myself. And then what happens next? And then I'm like, you know, I debate, like, you know, out of my emotions, should I comment back or should I not? I can't decide, you know? And I go through all these same things that you guys go through, right? And then, like, you're calling your friend, you're like, oh my goodness, am I really this? Or, oh hey, did you see that comment, right? And you talked about it to everyone, and then you go on their profile and you're like, oh, who is this person? I'm gonna look them up. Oh, you know, and you find things to, like, either, you know, help you with your point or make you feel worse about your point. And it's interesting because everyone thinks that because I have a large following on all these social media things, that, like, oh, he just must be so over the hate, like, it just must not bother him. And the reality of it is like, yeah, guys, it bothers me. Like, I'm a human being. Like, if you tell me I'm stupid, ugly, and should die, my feelings are hurt, you know what I'm saying? But the reality, the difference is that I don't let it ruin my whole day. That's the big thing, is that I go through all the regular things that everybody goes through when you get hate online, okay? But I don't let it ruin my day. I can't emphasize that any further. Like, I talk about it with my wife, or maybe I will respond. I respond back to haters when I feel like they've taken what I said and totally construed it, and I don't want other people to think that that's what I was really saying. So I'll only respond back when I feel like maybe there could be a better clarification on my language of some kind. And so I only respond back because, you know, I want the people who are the people who are actually taking what I'm saying to heart and really, like, you know, really seeing what I'm saying and not just, like, picking out every single, like, word and syllable, okay? And I want them to know the true meaning. So when they read this hate, I want them to know that, like, hey, that's not what I meant. And don't let this person think that that's what I meant, okay? And here's some clarification on it. So that's when I respond back. Otherwise, guys, you won't see me respond back. You won't see me call people out. It's not in my pedigree. It's just not. It's not. I really try to live with integrity, and I tell people the same things that I do, okay? And do I think I'm perfect? No. Like, do sometimes I want to respond back really mean things? Yeah, but I also know that that's just my ego, and that's just, you know, my like, oh, how dare you say something mean about me, right? And it's like, those people they can have their opinions. I don't like everybody. You know what I mean? I just don't spend my time hating on them and going out of my way to do it. So, you know, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting how it can all go, and how, you know, how some people really can't handle it. Like, some people will get a comment and they'll really break them down. And I feel like when the men's health thing was going on, that whole year of 2015, I really had to work on that. I really had to realize that, like, other people's opinions don't matter as much as I think they do. Like, just because this dude thinks I'm being a douche, like, I'm not, you know? And he's just got his own stuff going on, you know? And so, I feel like that's why I always try to live with my intent. If my intention was good, and if there is some type of miscommunication with my intention, then I have no problem having the conversation to clarify. But I also I don't have the time, nor will I make the time, to have a one-sided argument with someone who just doesn't like you for whatever reason. It's just the case. I mean, I think we all can say that we've met someone maybe 2 or 3 times and we just don't really like them. And that's okay, you know, that's okay. We don't, you know, as long as we respect them and don't, you know, you don't have to like someone, but you also don't have to go out of your way to make that person feel bad or to hate on them or bully them or whatever word you want to use, right? So, you know, again, I still get hate. I'm only human, guys. I'm, like, totally human, okay? And you know, I don't do anything special. I don't respond back much because I don't like to read the bad comments because I'm human. So sometimes I won't read comments at all. Sometimes I do, and then, you know, sometimes I don't. And that's why sometimes I respond back to people, and then sometimes I don't respond back to people. So, you know, I just am really all about picking and choosing your battles. It's not that I'm not going to pick a battle that I'm going to lose in. It's that I'm ready to have a conversation. And if you're going to become confrontational right off the bat, just right off the bat, then I don't know if we're going to be able to have a progressive conversation, you know? And at least in person, it would be a lot different than online. In person, I feel like the rules are totally different. Online, we're talking, it's a whole new world, okay? And, you know, it's very, you know, I have a whole language video, and we talk about being online, and, you know, if you're interested and you haven't watched it, it's the Trans Topics episode #1 with Rob, and we talk about language, and in there we talk about communication through phones, you know, through things. Alright, this wasn't supposed to be its own video, but honestly, I'm making it its own video, because I really feel like it's something that should be talked about, you know what I mean? And it's maybe not as formal as all the other trans topics, but, you know, it's pretty relevant, especially in today's world, especially when, you know, bullying is way more than in person. I think bullying happens more online now than in your face, I think someone will go home, bully you all day. You see them in the school, they give you a nasty look and walk by you, but they're not going to say much to your face, you know? And it's because it's so easy to hide behind a screen, and you can't have conversations that way. You don't have conversations. You can communicate, but you can't have a conversation. You know what I mean? You just can't, unless you already know the person and you know exactly how they talk. But even then, it's like, I can write back, it's okay, and you could take it 4 different ways. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that, and kind of, you know, I get that question a lot. How do I handle hate? Guys, I handle it like everybody else does. I'm only human. I just also know that, like, I'm more than this conversation. I'm more than one person's opinion. You know what I mean? And I know that I'm more than that because I'm just tired of being told that I'm not. And if that means believing that I am will make me happier, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm tired of growing up in a society that tells me that I shouldn't be happy and I don't deserve happiness, and I'm just tired of that, you know? And if I'm not going to be given happiness, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find it, or I'm going to make it. So I just encourage all of you guys to do the same. And when you get a hater, like, honestly, like, brush them off. Like, I know it's hard, like, it really is, and just remind yourself that all the things you're feeling are human things. Like, someone just tried to call you out, or like made fun of you, or whatever they did, you know, like, they hurt your feelings, and that's okay, you know? So I feel like if we just remember that concept, then we'll all be able to deal with the hate a little bit better. So hopefully this video resonates with some of you. And so yeah, this is an informal trans topics, but I think it has its place in this series. So, alright guys, I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.